NBC Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
And back to Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. Kickoff moments away, and just a couple of moments ago, Andrea Kramer down on the field talking with Steeler head coach Mike Tomlin.
Thanks a lot, Al. Mike, you said that Rashard Mendenhall did not earn the right to take offensive snaps in the last game, citing preparation issues, but he gets the start tonight in place of the injured Willie Parker. What gives you the confidence that Mendenhall can execute the offense?
What I did last week had nothing to do with lack of confidence in that young man. To be quite honest with you, he's responded the way I'd like him to this point in the week. He had a heck of a week's practice. He's on the details. He gets to start tonight, but really, like we all are, he's judged on how he plays the game tonight, and we understand that.
You beat San Diego twice last year, once in the regular season, once in the postseason. What's the formula for beating them tonight?
You know, we expect it to be a close ball game. They're a high-quality team. They're well coached by Norv Turner and company. It's about not riding the emotional roller coaster and being prepared to play 60 or 60-plus minutes of football if necessary.
Thanks a lot, Mike.
Thank you.
And Al, for the Chargers, Sean Merriman's been battling a groin injury for the past 3 weeks, but Norv Turner said he will get the start tonight. Defensive coordinator Ron Rivera told me they want to use him in obvious passing situations where they can just cut him loose and not worry about him having to fight anyone up front.
Thank you, Andrew. You mentioned Merriman, and there he is wearing pink shoes tonight. And if you've been watching football today, you know that the NFL is all in when it comes to Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So we'll see pink shoes, pink armbands, a lot of things adorned in pink to make everybody aware this month of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And there is Ben Roethlisberger, and he will be going to work very shortly because the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to get the football. Nate Kading will kick off, and Stefan Logan out of South Dakota, who would be the equivalent to what Darren Sproles is at San Diego at 5'6", except Sproles also plays a lot of offense. Logan has become their return specialist here in Pittsburgh. Hines Ward ready to take the field. Pittsburgh ready to get the ball, and away we go. Week 4 on a Sunday night. Logan from the 6-yard line. And Nene is there to turn him back inside, and then he's taken down up at the 21-yard line by Tim Dobbins. And let's take a look at the Pittsburgh Steelers starters.
Ben Roethlisberger, Miami University.
Rashard Mendenhall, Illinois.
Kerry Davis, Illinois.
Santonio Holmes, B, Ohio State University. Hines Ward,
Georgia.
Heath Miller,
Virginia.
Max Starks, Florida.
Chris Kimwell, University of Utah.
Justin Hartwig, Western Wind Valley.
Trey Essex, Northwest.
Willie Cologne, Hofstra University.
Cologne pretty much the rock of that offensive line, which was criticized a lot last year, but they all have Super Bowl rings. And we'll see what they can do tonight minus Parker. That means we'll see a lot of Mendenhall. Malody Moore is the third down back, and they've also activated Isaac Redman. And Roethlisberger will start with a play fake on first down and complete his first pass of the night for Santonio Holmes, the Super Bowl hero. That was Clinton Hart coming into the backfield and forcing Ben out of the pocket, and he loves to go outside the pocket and throw.
Well, he sure does, and he loves to go left, especially here. He was under pressure from Clinton Hart. But I tell you have to say that Ben Roethlisberger, at the end of the day, is one of the most exciting quarterbacks in the league. Maybe everything he does isn't right, but the guy ad-libs so many plays during the course of the game. Very exciting to watch.
First down up at the 36-yard line. Ward sets up in the slot on the right side, and Ben to throw. And Ben will hit Hines Ward. So Ward, originally set on the left side of the formation, moves to the slot on the right, then they cross him over the middle. 2 passes, one to Holmes, one to Ward, and a first down. Ben Roethlisberger, I mean, he is right now, I think he's finally beginning to get his due. All it took was 2 Super Bowl trophies, Chris.
But he really is a guy. He loves doing a no-huddle. When he gets a chance, probably will get that opportunity out here today, a chance to call his own plays, but clearly a guy within this organization getting so much respect now, and they may well give him a chance to start winning some of these games at the end.
And look at this formation. They go 4 by 1 with 4 receivers to the left, and Roethlisberger with a pump fake to the right, has time in the pocket, deep downfield, throws, and the pass is hauled in by the rookie Mike Wallace. The rookie from Mississippi, who's already made a big splash, covered by Gregory, but that offensive line did a great job. And on a 4 by 1 formation, Roethlisberger looking right, goes to the other side, big first down again.
Well, if you're going to give a quarterback like Ben Roethlisberger that much time to stand there and throw the football, those are going to be the results. The Chargers were clearly confused. They didn't know what to do with that formation. Cromartie came up, and Ben hit him big.
35-yard reception. That's 65 yards on the first 3 plays of the night. Now they run it, and a big hole from Mendenhall. And Mendenhall for a gain of 9. Tackled by Weddle. Andrea talking to Mike Tomlin before the game about Mendenhall. He played last week, but not on offense, only on special teams. Mike didn't like the way he prepared for the game. So he is a man very much in the crosshairs tonight. They spent a number 1 draft choice on him. Last year he got hurt. He was out for the last 3 quarters of the season, and now with Parker hurt, he has his chance to shine.
And this is a big, big night for him. He needs to shine and win over a few of these fans.
2nd and 1. And he'll take that ball to the 1-yard line and set up a first down and goal. So a near perfect opening drive for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Trey Exlick's going to blow open a big hole here. But Mendenhall trying to prove he is Steeler worthy. Watch him put his head down here and drive for the goal line. That has been a bit of a question for him. He's fumbled the ball some in preseason, broke his shoulder last year on a hit from Ray Lewis. But getting a big, big opportunity tonight.
They put a backup center, Doug Legursky, in the backfield as the fullback. Mendenhall is the running back, and Mendenhall will walk into the end zone for a touchdown. The Pittsburgh Steelers come out and go 79 yards. 6 plays in 3 minutes 11 seconds and get saluted by Willie Parker and his civvies.
Watch the center right here. Justin Hartwig just going to take Alfonso Boone and just turn him right out of that hole. When you get that kind of a turn on the nose tackle, you end up with a walk-in touchdown. And how embarrassing is that for San Diego's defense? They just got blown out of the water on that drive.
Ron Rivera, the defensive coordinator, a lot to think about off the top. Jeff Reed for the extra point. Sepulveda puts it down. And the Pittsburgh Steelers have the lead. So Mendenhall goes from the doghouse to the end zone. 7-0 Steelers. And the first series for San Diego has not been very good. San Diego has not scored a touchdown on its first possession in the last 19 games. So you go back to 07 as they'll get the ball. Reed's kick taken by Sproles, who fakes a handoff at the 6. And Sproles, with a good run back, brings it back out to the 33-yard line, tackled by Andre Frazier. And let's take a look at that very unusual formation here, Chris.
Check out the 4 guys down here, and they're going to go everywhere. This poor safety right here in the middle of the field. Steve Gregory doesn't know what to do here. So he ends up chasing the pump fake over to the right, and Mike Wallace just runs free down the sideline. Bruce Arians with a very clever way to start the game, and Pittsburgh explodes out of the blocks.
So now Rivers goes to work. Tomlinson, who sprained his ankle on opening night against Oakland. Play fake to him, and then the screen to him. Of course, he's a very accomplished receiver, and that's a very accomplished tackle by Tyrone Carter, who's the man replacing Troy Polamalu in the starting lineup.
Tyrone Carter came all the way across the formation with the motion here, and it looked like San Diego had something set up. But Tyrone Carter, coming out of college, was the leading tackler in the nation. And when you say those words to Dick LeBeau, he said, give me some of that. He is happy to have this guy on his team.
Evidence right there. 2nd and 11. Loss of 1 on the play. Again, the play fake. Rivers rolling and throwing, and he has to throw it at the feet of Tomlinson. Good defense. 3rd and 11. Here are the Charger starters.
Phillip Rivers, NC State.
LaDainian Tomlinson, TCU.
Vincent Jackson, Northern Colorado.
Chris Chambers, Wisconsin Badgers.
Antonio Gates, Detroit Central High School.
Brandon Malayuna, Arizona.
Marcus McNeil, Auburn. Chris Dillman, Indiana.
Scott Murchkowski, Bowling Green.
Louis Vasquez, Texas Tech.
Jeremy Clary, Kansas State University.
Trouble in the center of that line. One of the best centers in the league, Nick Hardwick, is hurt, so he's out. They do get Louis Vasquez back at right guard tonight. That should help. 3rd and 11, and the pass deep downfield is incomplete. It was Chris Chambers who had to do a 360, turning around, couldn't hold on. Covered on the play by the corner, William Gay. And so for the 20th consecutive game, the Chargers can't score a touchdown on their first possession.
And for Chris Chambers, he really needs something to get him going. And the play like this would have been it. He really caught the ball and just lost it when it hit the ground. But he has struggled. He has not been making the plays that the other receivers have been making for San Diego. And he needs to.
Mike Cyphers his kick, and that's going to back Logan up. And he'll haul it in at the 5-yard line. And Logan breaks a tackle at the 15, or steps out of one anyway, and returns it to the 25-yard line where he's tackled by the snapper, David Ben. Ben and his group come back, leading 7-0, early first. Check out Sunday Night Football Extra. You can use instant replay, pick your own camera angle, chat with Pro Football Talk's Mike Florio. A lot of things you can check out on Sunday Night Football Extra, NBCSports.com or NFL.com. Full moon, beautiful night, temperature at 54 degrees at kickoff. And Pittsburgh with a perfect opening drive begins its second possession at the 25-yard line. The ball is handed off, and again a good hole over the left side, Rashard Mendenhall. Here's San Diego's defense.
Jacques Césaire, 7th Connecticut State. OG Nwabo, Michigan State.
Luis Castillo, Northwestern.
Sean Phillips, Purdue. Stephen Cooper, Maine. Kevin Burnett, Tennessee.
Sean Merriman, Maryland.
Quinn Jammer, Texas.
Clinton Hart, South Sumter High School.
Eric Weddle, Utah.
Antonio Cromartie, Florida State.
And again, Andrea was talking about it at the top. We'll see Merriman somewhat sparingly tonight, mainly in 3rd down passing situations. 2nd down and 4, Mendenhall. And Mendenhall with that second burst is close to picking up a 1st down. Turns what would have been a 3rd and 3 into a 3rd and much shorter. Castillo and Ogemdi, Nwabo in on the tackle.
Nwabo filling in for Jamal Williams, who is out, and number 91 going to come right across the formation. He's been very stout in there. He's done a good job. Certainly not the player that Jamal Williams has been, one of the most dominant nose tackles in the game. But if you're going to play at 34, you have to come up with a good nose tackle, so the pressure on Nwabo tonight.
3rd down and inches, and the Steelers have had trouble in these situations of late, but not here. Mendenhall, and I think the message got through the way he has started this game. Of course, that line's doing a nice job opening holes for him. That's a 1st down up at the 40-yard line.
Well, you're talking about a double team now. They're not going to have any trouble picking up 3rd and 1 if they keep doing this. Check out this action right here in the middle. Just taking them and driving guys on their backs. Willie Colon with a great block on the outside on a single block. Looks like the Steelers are out to make a statement tonight.
At the 40-yard line. It's Holmes in motion. And Mendenhall. Some tough running over the right side. Behind Cologne up to the 45-yard line.
There's no question when all else fails, the thing that the Steelers are going to do is run right. Norv Turner understood that he was very concerned about getting off to a slow start. He said our defense has started slowly the last few weeks. And we're worried about big guys like Willie Colon just taking us and driving us off the ball. And so far tonight, that's exactly what's happening. It doesn't matter who the running back is.
Cologne, 315, 4th year out of Hofstra. 2nd down and 5 from the 45. Cooper comes up in the gap and blitzes and gets to him, but Roethlisberger gets away and then is able to get the pass away, though nobody is there. It was Nwabo who was able to get his hand on it. But you saw Cooper come up into that gap and get there, and then Ben, as he does so frequently, able to escape.
You'll see Cooper come right up there in the A gap, and Trey Essex, instead of getting him, went to the outside and left Roethlisberger with no protection. But Ben, as he often does, finds a way to escape and get rid of the football. It's just remarkable. They can't get him on the ground. They said you have to tackle the ball against this guy. He's too big to go high against.
3rd and 5. Roethlisberger comes up in the gun. They go 3 by 1 here. 3 receivers to the left. Roethlisberger has time, and then the pass is incomplete. And Wallace looks around for a flag and gets one. Covered by the cornerback Antonio Cromartie, and the flag came in at the end to the dismay of Cromartie, and that's going to be a first down for the Steelers. Jeff Triplett is the referee tonight.
Pass interference, defense, number 31. Automatic first down.
Antonio Cromartie is going to get a good hold of Mike Wallace on the outside, just as he tries to come back in for the first down, grab the jersey. You can see the backside of it. That's a hold.
Wallace in only his 3rd professional game last week, 102 yards on 7 receptions. And he's already made his mark tonight on that first drive. From the 45 of San Diego, Roethlisberger moving out of the pocket. Still on his feet, then he loses the ball but is able to recover it. So they finally get to Ben. Larry English, the rookie linebacker, the number 1 choice out of Northern Illinois, created the fumble, but Ben was able to stretch out and corral it.
Well, Ben Roethlisberger doing what he does. He moves left, scrambles back right, and finally the San Diego Chargers, one of their outside linebackers, ends up with a sack. Larry English, the first of these outside linebackers to get a sack, and I can tell you this defense will never be effective if those 3 high-paid guys on the outside aren't getting more pressure than what they're getting.
Roethlisberger led the league in fumbles last year with 14. That's his first this season. 2nd down and 16. And Roethlisberger guns it over the middle, and that is caught by Hines Ward, who's made a living over the middle throughout his career, and that will set up a 3rd down and short.
Well, they're lining up in this bunch formation, and what San Diego wants to do tonight is try to attack that bunch. You see the bunch right over here, and they want to hit the point man there. Come up and give him a shot, but Case on that time was unable to get the shot, and that's the reason that Hines Ward ended up open downfield.
So it's 3rd and 1, and they will line up in the gun and bring their 3rd down back more into the game. You saw Merriman standing on the San Diego sideline a moment ago, and Ben will throw on 3rd and short and complete that to Holmes, and Holmes will take Cromartie for a little ride down to the 25-yard line.
Very smart by Bruce Arians here. He got the hold on the last one, so this time Cromartie feels like he can't afford to get his hands on him and get another hold on 3rd down. So what does he do? Comes right back to him, picks up the easy first down.
Less than 10 minutes into the game, the Steelers have gained 119 yards. San Diego -1. Mendenhall back in the game on first down at the 25-yard line, and Richard gets the ball and is tackled as it crosses the line of scrimmage by number 95, the outside linebacker, Sean Phillips.
Sean Phillips did a great job there. Matt Spaeth looked like he had him blocked for a minute, and Phillips just overwhelmed him, and now Sean's down.
And that's about the last thing that San Diego would need defensively. You already saw Merriman, who can only play sparingly tonight, and now you've got the bookend linebacker, Phillips, who's hurt, and of course Jamal Williams is already done for the year. Injury timeout. So there is Phillips, who walks off the field, but they work on his forearm, and there was a lot of blood as well as he came off the field. Giles Tucker, who took Merriman's place for the most part last year, now comes in, number 94, to spell Phillips, and Merriman is still on the sideline as Pittsburgh has a 2nd down and 8. Larry English playing the other linebacker spot, 52, their number 1 pick. From the shotgun on 2nd down and 8. Only a 3-man rush. The pass to the outside to Heath Miller, the tight end, and he gets taken down on the near sideline by Antonio Cromartie. And that'll make it 3rd down and 4 at the 19-yard line.
Well, you just have to wonder how many more injuries the San Diego Chargers can sustain. Jamal Williams, the great nose tackle, already out. Sean Merriman dinged up. Their all-pro center, Nick Hardwick, out. Playing without Luis Vasquez, their guard, for a long time. They came out of training camp completely healthy, but the injuries continue to mount up now.
3rd and 4 from the shotgun. 54! 54 is Cooper. Here come the Chargers, and the pass is caught near sideline. Moore, and Mewelde Moore will take it all the way to the end zone. Touchdown. Chargers burned on the blitz, and that's a 75-yard drive, 11 plays for Pittsburgh.
Big mistake that time by Eric Weddle. His guy was Mewelde Moore. He came up. It was one of those read blitz kind of situations. He's going to fake a blitz, but if the back comes out, you have to go out on him. And that time, Eric Weddle made a big mistake.
Jeff Reed for the extra point. And the Pittsburgh Steelers with a near perfect first quarter. 4:08 to play in the period. Leading 14-0 over San Diego. Pretty spectacular sight. Every time you come into Pittsburgh, you come through that Ford Pit Tunnel. Magnificent downtown. Lit up at night. Confluence of the three rivers, the Allegheny, Monongahela, forming the Ohio. And so far, it's been a perfect night for this crowd of more than 60,000 at Heinz Field. 2 touchdown drives for the Steelers and a 3-and-out on San Diego's only possession as Darren Sproles takes the kick from the 7-yard line. Brings it back to the 31-yard line. Chargers will take it at that spot with 4:02 to play in the quarter. So the San Diego Chargers have the ball at the 31-yard line. Tomlinson is the running back. Tolbert is the fullback, and LaDainian will carry the ball through the middle up to the 33-yard line. And take a look at Ron Rivera, the defensive coordinator, while we were in commercial, and his defensive unit.
And I hope nobody can read lips.
You don't have to.
That's the 85 Bears member giving his best Mike Ditka, Buddy Ryan speech right there.
Well, they've given up 144 yards on 2 drives. And the offense right now tries to get him back in the game on 2nd down and 8, and this is Gates. And the tight end takes it out to the 48-yard line. If there's an offense that can get you back in the game in a hurry, it's San Diego.
Trust me, San Diego has plenty of options here. Antonio Gates over here on the left side is just going to start working on linebackers. As long as the Pittsburgh Steelers are willing to do this, that time they came with a blitz. Gates read it, just a little hot read, get him the ball in space. This is a team that has plenty of offensive weapons, plenty of big play potential. And believe me, this game's a long way from over.
And the safety, Ryan Clark, is shaken up. Polamalu missing his 3rd straight game. He hopes to be back next week. We'll see. Meanwhile, here are the Pittsburgh starters.
Aaron Smith, Northern Colorado.
Casey Hampton, Texas.
Brett Kiesel, BYU.
Lamar Woodley, Michigan. James Farrier, Virginia. Lawrence Timmons, Florida State.
James Harrison, Kent State.
Ike Taylor,
Swagger.
Tyrone Carter, Minnesota.
Ryan Clark, Louisiana.
William Gay, Louisville.
Pittsburgh defense as Tomlinson takes the ball up to the 50-yard line. Still my favorite intro. Ike Taylor, swagging.
I don't even know what that is, and it's funny.
Yeah, I know it.
You know, it's interesting. As soon as another safety goes down, so now both starting safeties out for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Ryan Clark and Troy Polamalu. Immediately, Norv Turner comes back to the run game to try and establish something. Force those guys who are typically corners up trying to make plays in the box.
Meanwhile, Clark does come back into the game, so he's only out for one play. 2nd down and 9. Rivers under pressure, stepping up, and Rivers, who doesn't run very often, though he did run for a touchdown last week, is stopped at the 50-yard line. He gets tackled by Casey Hampton, and that'll make it 3rd down and 8.
One of the key guys in this game is going to be Lawrence Timmons coming on a blitz right through here. This guy has a sprained ankle and really did not play very well last week. I thought he looked pretty rusty. But the way the Chargers are going to try and block this Pittsburgh Steelers front, they're going to try and take Harrison and Woodley out with offensive linemen. That means these interior backers are going to be the primary pass rushers tonight, Timmons and Ferrier.
They have Nene and Sproles in the game on 3rd down and 8. And Rivers buying time, and then the pass is incomplete. The secondary doing a good job. Pass intended for Big Vincent Jackson. So the Chargers get their first down of the game and then go out here, and they'll have to kick from the 50.
Well, Darren Sproles, not a big guy, but check him out making this block. 5'6", and he's going to have to take on Lawrence Timmons, and that is taken care of right there. So Phillip Rivers, when you pick up the Pittsburgh Steelers blitz, you now have to make a play, and they haven't been making them yet.
And Cyphers' kick is a good one because it will pin the Steelers back inside their 10. They'll spot it at the 7, and that's where they will take over. But there's a flag down back up at the 50-yard line, the line of scrimmage.
During the kick, holding number 55 is the receiving team. Half the distance to the goal. 1st down.
So that will take them back to the 3.5. Patrick Bailey with the hold. Take a look at that. In the first quarter, in the last 3 weeks, the Steelers have been great, and they've held their opponents, as you can see, to next to nothing. Pretty similar to tonight. But the problem, as you know, for Pittsburgh has been the 4th quarter.
In the Bears game and in the Bengals game, it looked like the most one-sided, one-team dominating kind of game. You thought the score was going to end up being 50-0 when you're watching it, and all of a sudden it completely turned around. So right now, San Diego defensively, they have to make a play because Bruce Arians, the offensive coordinator, has just dominated this defense thus far.
Well, one of the plays that let Cincinnati get back in that game is Holmes running the wrong route, and the Bengals getting an interception return for a touchdown.
Right.
1st and 10, ball at the 3. Sean Phillips comes back into the game. So he was on the bench. They were looking at his forearm, but he's back in, number 95. And now Roethlisberger will buy them some breathing room on a pass to Hines Ward, the Super Bowl MVP in Detroit against Seattle after the 05 season. Tackled by Stephen Cooper.
Can't you just feel the confidence in Ben Roethlisberger amongst the staff of the Pittsburgh Steelers growing? You know, in days gone by with Jerome Bettis, and they're going to run the football out of here. Now it's Ben Roethlisberger taking his shot, given an opportunity to make plays. Along the way, you know, you do, and they're starting to have that kind of faith in him.
6th year in the league. Starter since middle of his first season is Mendenhall. Chugs his way up to the 11. He's tackled there by Steve Gregory. It'll be 3rd down and a deuce.
Rashard Mendenhall, if I had one thing that I would coach him on, it would be getting down a little bit lower. He's had a trouble fumbling the football, and you can see that he does stand fairly upright in the pile. It's spin moves out of the pile, whatever. Guys get a chance to get their hands on it. He needs to be careful.
And Ben doesn't have to run a play and won't, so they'll let the clock tick down, and the crowd likes what it has seen. Because the Pittsburgh Steelers have dominated the opening 15 minutes. They lead by a score of 14-0 over the San Diego Chargers. And NBC's Sunday Night Football from Pittsburgh back after these messages. Pittsburgh, Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Andrea Kramer. Steelers lead 14-0, and it's been a revamped and reshuffled offensive line, Chris, for the Steelers.
Yeah, a lot of negative things said about this offensive line a season ago, and yet it has just been so different. The Steelers' 2007 offensive line completely changed over now by 2009. Only Willie Colon remains, and you could see it last year. You could see they struggled in picking up certain is really revamped again week 3 last year, but now they've had a year to work together. The pass protection to me is all the way there. I think they get it now. They're still going to give up some sacks because of the way Roethlisberger plays, but now they've got to work on that run game.
3rd down and 3 as we start the second quarter. 3 receivers set to the left. Ben goes that way and he finds Heath Miller, the tight end, and that will be a 1st down.
Sean Merriman is always going to get plenty of attention here. They're going to go this way and make sure they pick him up. So even though he ends up having the pulled groin and all the different issues that Sean Merriman has, he still is going to gain the kind of respect, and that offensive line is going to turn to him.
There's Merriman on the sideline. He's been in for only a couple of plays. They empty the backfield on 1st down from the 20. And Ben dumps it off. That's Miller again, and this time he'll get wrestled to the turf after a gain of 4 yards. Luis Castillo, the first to hit him, a minute into the second quarter.
It was interesting talking to Ben Roethlisberger about Heath Miller. He says he drops balls so infrequently in practice, maybe one every 2 weeks, that when he actually does drop one, everybody just sort of stops and goes, whoa, wait a minute, what happened? And he's so quiet, he never says anything back, but it's startling when you see him miss one.
Steelers picked him in the 1st round in 05 from Virginia. 2nd and 5. Mendenhall. And again over the right side, and there's been a lot of room for him to roam around the right side tonight to the 40-yard line. 1st down, tackled by Cooper and Jammer, a gain of 14.
Well, Hines Ward's going to pin Eric Whittle on the outside. When you have a wide receiver that can block the way that he can, check out Hines Ward, just drive his guy down inside. And Hines is essentially like having an extra tight end on the field. They play a lot of 2 tight ends, but when you include number 86, the best blocking wide receiver, I think, in history, it's like playing with 3 tight ends.
From the 39, little toss to Moore, and then he's going to hand the ball off to Holmes, and Holmes looked like he wanted to throw it. Instead, he's going to run with it now, and that turns out to be a gain as Hines Ward was circling down the field, and it looks like Holmes was looking for Ward.
Big Justin Hartwig got out in front of this double reverse. He's going to loop back around, and it looks like even Roethlisberger got a little block there. Hartwig out in front, and I don't know why he didn't block it. Glenn Hart coming over there.
Make it 2nd down and 3. Rookie Wallace is in the game. And the handoff goes to Mendenhall, and again, boy, they have found a gaping spot right there over right tackle, and Mike Wallace threw a block that time as well, tackled by Cason, and another 1st down.
Well, Willie Cologne's not only going to take care of that double team, he's going to get up on that 2nd level, but right now the bigger problem that San Diego's having is they're losing contain on the outside, and we're starting to get a glimpse now of why the Pittsburgh Steelers, despite some problems with Rashard Mendenhall, they've been so excited about this guy. You know, Mike Tomlin said, I'm going to undersell him because I know there's a lot of pressure on him and everything, but we really think he can be a star.
196 yards already offensively on a 1st down. And Ben can't escape. This time he was in the grasp. The whistle actually sounded before he went down because Alfonso Boone, backup defensive end, and just recently picked up former Chief, Bear, and Lion, is able to sack him.
Check out Rashard Mendenhall's block on this one. This here, Steelers fans more than anything else, that is a KO. What a shot Roethlisberger had all day, and then Boone just sort of fell into it because nobody was open down the field, but that was impressive.
There's Mendenhall on the left and Parker, whose place he's taking. Willie with turf toe. 2nd and 16, and again Ben goes down, and that's something you almost never see. Back-to-back sacks. That's Weddle, the safety, and Tim Dobbins, the linebacker.
Well, San Diego and Ron Rivera has said enough is enough. Here they come. They're bringing the pressure over here on this side. And Ben Roethlisberger, as we've seen him do before, tends to hold this ball. And the one thing that San Diego thought coming in here was we cannot let our ego get in the way of tackling this guy. We have to tackle the football. The tendency is to want to take the quarterback's head off, but if you do that, you will miss. So far tonight, they're going after the ball, and they're getting him on the ground.
And you see Merriman back in the game. And Merriman will blitz. He gets double teamed, and Roethlisberger still has time, and he has to check it down to Miller, and Miller will take it into San Diego territory, and Miller will pick up a good hunk of yardage, but he'll be short of a first down. It will make it 4th down and 5 after a 3rd and 23, so a gain of 18 yards. And Pittsburgh will punt for the first time tonight.
But you have to know that Mike Tomlin will consider that a very successful drive, taking it off their own goal line, flipping the field position, and now it'll be San Diego backed up.
Sepulveda, who was hurt last year, and they had a lot of trouble with punts back this year, and he's very good at pinning teams deep, which is not that hard to do in this particular situation. A fair catch is made at the 10-yard line by Sproles. Still 14-0 Pittsburgh.
But I'll never tell him it was your idea.
No, I'm going to give him Keenan Thompson's address. From the 10-yard line on first down, here's Tomlinson with a little straight arm there to buy a couple of extra yards. And LaDainian, coming back from that sprained ankle, picks up about 5. Tackled by James Farrier.
There's a little LT that we know and love right there. You see the footwork now starting to come back. Jump cut. Looks like that ankle is doing just fine. It's a little different with those pink shoes on, but still just as fast. But boy, San Diego really needs to establish him. They can't just drop back and throw it with Harrison and Woodley coming off the edge now.
Only San Diego's 10th play of the game. Rivers throwing to the far side in front of the San Diego bench, and that is caught by Vincent Jackson. Ike Taylor says no, but the officials are there and say, you bet. Vincent Jackson, who's become Rivers' go-to guy.
Well, Vincent Jackson has become one of the best big play receivers in the game. And for the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're going to leave Ike Taylor on him all night. He's a bigger cover corner, about 6'1". But we've seen Jackson, just because you have him covered doesn't mean anything. This guy outfights defensive backs for the ball. He's been doing it on the deep balls. He did it there.
And terrific concentration to grasp it as he was juggling it and stay in bounds. And now Rivers throws, and that pass is incomplete, intended for Gates, as Lawrence Timmons put the pressure on that time. Antonio looking upfield before he looked it into his hands. 2nd down.
Yeah, you get the feeling maybe that San Diego's starting to settle down a little bit, though. They've got to start distributing the ball to their stars. Vincent Jackson, despite the fact that over the past 2 years has had the highest yards per catch average, Pittsburgh a very difficult team to try and get deep against because they play cover 2 deep safeties so often.
2nd and 10. Blitz. Rivers hangs in, and the blitz opened it up over the middle for Legadou Nane in his 3rd year out of Boise State. A guy who can play a lot of different positions, running back and run back kicks. Wide receiver, and Nane with a first down here.
Boy, when you get this blitz picked up, it means good things for the offense. Great job up front on that offensive line. Luis Vasquez coming in there and making a big difference. He's missed the last couple of games, and Brandon Dombrowski really struggled. A guy who had never played guard in his life had an awfully tough time, but now with Vasquez back in there, this offensive line looks better.
From the 42. Rivers deep down the right sideline, and the coverage is perfect that time. Vincent Jackson covered by Ike Taylor. For Phillip Rivers, he's the only one of that class now that hasn't won a Super Bowl trophy. Roethlisberger's won 2, and Eli Manning 1. And of course, it was Eli who was drafted by San Diego, didn't want to play there, and that of course set up the situation where the Giants had the 4th pick, and that's how Rivers winds up going to San Diego and Eli to New York in a trade. Well, you know, it's worked out for both teams.
Hey, and not only that, but they got Sean Merriman and Nate Kading out of that deal too. So I'm thinking everybody's doing all right with that one.
From the 42-yard line, here's Nane, and he juggles it, and he's lucky that wasn't picked off by Ike Taylor. Taylor looking to tackle him and missed that gift opportunity.
I don't think Ike Taylor can believe he missed that one either.
Right. So the Pittsburgh Steelers It's funny, you come into town, and obviously there's a winning tradition here and all of that. We ran into some fans last night, and they're saying to us, we have a chance? We have a chance to win the Super Bowl again? I'm going, well, wait a minute, it's October, of course you do.
Well, the word Super Bowl hangover has been talked about quite a bit here lately because of what happened to them after the last time they won the Super Bowl, and then to start 1-2 here.
3rd down and 10. And Rivers will throw, and that one gets batted back and incomplete. Ike Taylor is there. So Rivers in the pocket, has it batted by Taylor, and it's 4th down.
Darren Sproles just saved Phillip Rivers' life on that one. He's going to jump all the way across and pick up this corner blitz. And if not for that, he almost tackled the quarterback in the process. But we saw San Diego ratcheting up the pressure. Dick LeBeau and his defense responded in kind.
Cyphers' kick is hauled in by Logan at the 7-yard line. And he will get tripped up by the snapper. David Binn makes the second tackle. There's a flag on the play. And you had an ineligible man downfield for San Diego.
Ineligible downfield on the kicking team, number 51. That 5-yard penalty added to the end of the run. 1st down.
Tim Dobbins halfway through the second quarter. Super Bowl champions up by 2 touchdowns. Class of 04, that's that fabled class of 83 with Marino and Elway, but Eli Manning was picked by the Chargers even though he had said, I'm not going, and then they effected that trade where the Giants picked Rivers, and then they swapped locales, and Ben Roethlisberger out of Miami of Ohio was picked 11th, and there's the regular season records of all 3. The Super Bowl trophies, of course, Roethlisberger with a pair, Eli with 1, Rivers 3 and 3 in postseason play. But that's becoming a fabled class.
And San Diego effectively passed on Ben Roethlisberger twice. They picked 2 quarterbacks in with Roethlisberger sitting there. I'm sure he remembers that.
At the 24-yard line, Mendenhall, and he'll pick up 9 yards. So with Willie Parker out, Mendenhall getting a chance to show what he can do. Clinton Hart in on the tackle.
Yeah, you talk about that quarterback competition, but didn't you find it interesting talking to Phillip Rivers about, I said, well, do you get involved in the competition? You check the stats and all that. And most guys go, no, I don't pay. He goes, yeah. He says, I love all those side stories, all that side competition. It's fun for me. He likes it. He's kind of a little farvish in some of his conversation.
Very much so. Son of a football coach, as Roethlisberger throws and then passes behind Miller. Trying to get it to the tight end, and that's going to make it 3rd down and 1. Yeah, he's a fiery guy. And the thing about Rivers, and he's always jawing. He's jawing with cornerbacks. He's jawing, of course, he and Jay Cutler used to jaw with each other when Cutler was with Denver. He doesn't back down.
No, he doesn't. His favorite thing is about the cornflakes. He says, my receiver's going to go up over you and eat some cornflakes on you. The receiver's trying to tell him to shut up, but he keeps on.
Steelers, as you can see, the troubles that they have had on 3rd and 4th and short. And this time, because of keeping his legs moving, I think Mendenhall got it, but we'll see when they spot it just across the 30-yard line.
Jacques Cesar got some good push in there, but he just couldn't find the ball carrier.
Charlie Batch, the backup quarterback. Mike Tomlin, 3rd year here, youngest coach ever to win a Super Bowl. Met his older brother on the field tonight, about 3 years older than he is. He's in marketing. Spitting image, it's great. Got the toothpick and everything. That's much shy.
I think you got to punt it, don't you?
Well, if nothing else, you line up to try to draw them offside.
I tell you, you've struggled in this part of your game. You have a big lead, and the last thing you need to do is give San Diego and this offense a little hope, but they're going to go for it.
At least line up to go for it. You know you don't have much to gain when the referee's able to tell you how far you have to go between his thumb and his forefinger.
Yeah. Interesting.
Well, we'll see if they do run the play. 4th down. And inches.
Black 20.
And they will, and it's Roethlisberger, and he'll do it himself across the line of scrimmage and picks up the 1st down. Sneaks over the left side behind the left guard, Chris Kimayatu.
Boy, Max Starks came down hard and just blew his guy out. Check it out right over here. Just take his guy and move him straight backwards. And that was the difference. Of course, it doesn't hurt to have a 250-pound quarterback in there to run it as well. Pretty gutsy call that time by Mike Tomlin.
1st and 10. The ball is at the 32-yard line. And this is Mendenhall. He gets tackled by Alfonso Boone. Well, Mike Tomlin doesn't pay very much attention to convention. In fact, last week, he took some grief here in Pittsburgh for going for it on 4th down instead of punting in the Cincinnati game. And then the Bengals came back and got a field goal. But talking about one guy who wouldn't pay an iota of attention to anything written about him in the paper or said about him on TV, he's the guy.
Truly does not care. Loves what he's doing and just doesn't read it. Doesn't care.
He might read it, but he doesn't care. 2nd down and 8. And that pass is incomplete. The thing I like about Tomlin, too, and you asked him the other day, hey, you know, what did you tell your team about the significance of this game? Because, you know, you're 1-2 and San Diego's coming in. He says, I'm all in every week. Yeah, he said, why would this be different? You know, if I'm doing everything I can to win the game every single week, I can't tell him the next week, oh, we got to try a little harder. What kind of message is that? 3rd and 8. The receivers bunched to the left. Merriman in the game. He's going to come, and he's going to get picked up. And Roethlisberger's going to throw, and that's going to be picked off, but a flag is thrown. So Cromartie has it. Cromartie, for the moment, will go to the end zone, but what about the flag? Intended for Santonio Holmes. And, of course, the way that everybody on the field is reacting, they expect it to be, and there are 2 flags. Defensive interference.
Prior to the pass, holding number 31 in the defense. It's a 5-yard penalty and an automatic 1st down.
And that's Cromartie.
Tough night for Antonio Cromartie. Here he comes up with a big play. You'll see him right out here. Once again, they're going to come up on him, a little collision, and then he's going to grab the jersey, the back of the jersey. NBC it there. It's a good call. Can't come back to the ball as a receiver. Great job of officiating. Easy to miss that. That was tremendous. That obviously would have been a huge game-changing play if they missed that call.
You saw it. Mendenhall for a gain of 4 up to the 44-yard line with 4:40 left in the opening half. The Steelers scoring on their first 2 drives, up 14-0.
Well, you just got the feeling that maybe Pittsburgh Steelers, after watching the Ravens get beat today, they're thinking if we just come out here and play a little Steeler football, quit leaving this thing until the 4th quarter, take care of business early on, and let's go home and get back in the race, because it is tough. You fall to 1-3. 2-2 a game back sounds a whole lot better.
2nd and 6 from the 44. Good pocket. Miller. And Heath Miller with a 1st down to the 49 of San Diego. In the time of possession, it's 20 minutes now for Pittsburgh. So more than 3-1 the ratio in the time of possession.
Listen to Roethlisberger direct his offensive line.
Lefty, 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 lefty. Line, line, line. Go. Set up.
It goes from lefty, which means we've got blitzers that can come inside, to lion, which means they're both outside, totally under control. Great job of quarterbacking.
From the 48. And timeout here.
That wasn't a lefty or a lion.
No.
That was a timeout on that one.
That was a TO. So with Parker hurt, Mendenhall has done the job in the first half tonight, scored that touchdown, the first of his career, 5.2 average and 78 yards on the ground in a half that's been dominated by the Pittsburgh Steelers. They've run 35 plays to San Diego's 15, 1st and 10 at the 48. The fake, the pump, and then underneath to Mendenhall. So he faked it to him, pumped downfield, and Mendenhall breaking tackles. And I think he got Tomlin's message last week.
Yeah, I would say he definitely got Tomlin's message. After you get benched and you're that young, you ever want to play again, you better get that message. Watch what happens, though, with Ben Roethlisberger when he buys this much time. Check out this zone defense, how far back they have to play. And now you come down to the dump down to Mendenhall, and there's just nobody there. San Diego cannot get him contained in that pocket, and by buying 4, 5, 6 seconds, those zone defenses, they can't play that way. There's too much space to cover.
Mendenhall told us the other day when he was in high school outside of Chicago, they were comparing him to LT, and that pass is incomplete. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Let's go to Andrea.
Well, why was Mendenhall benched? We heard some cryptic comments from him that minor details became major, but really the reason offensive coordinator Bruce Arians told me is that Mendenhall missed assignments and he lined up wrong in one practice and he missed an audible in another. Clearly, he did get Tomlin's message.
Yeah, according to Tomlin, he had mental errors on Thursday, again on Friday, again on Saturday. So you don't play on Sunday.
Nope.
I mean, it was about that simple. He said, you know what? You don't play in the NFL like that, and he's right.
And you earn your mental errors in practice. He said if it was Hines Ward, it would be a different story, but it wouldn't be Hines Ward. This is Mike Wallace who will pick up the 1st down. So Wallace is a guy who's probably an up-and-coming star the way his career has begun on a team that has Ward, that has Holmes, and now has Mike Wallace. And, of course, it was Lima Swede who looked like he'd be the star, but he dropped a would-be touchdown pass last week, inactive tonight. 2-minute warning in Pittsburgh. Coming up, the Toyota halftime show. How about them Broncos beating Dallas today? They're 4-0. So are the Saints. Bob Costa's here, and he'll be checking in live with Drew Brees of the undefeated New Orleans Saints. That's the ex-Charger. Think about that. It was Rivers who gets drafted, and they let Brees go, and success for both. 1st and 10, and that pass is caught, and then it was dropped and then recovered in the end zone for a touchdown. Carey Davis comes up with the ball, the recently re-signed fullback, and now they will spot the ball at the 2-yard line because it has to be recovered by the fumbling player here.
Inside, 2-minute fumble rule is in
inside
effect.
Of 2 minutes. You can't fumble it
will
forward.
Be brought back to the space of the fumble. 1st down.
Sean Phillips created the fumble, but inside of 2 minutes, either half, only the fumbling player can recover it in the end zone.
And a great play by Carey Davis to get on this because the defensive team can recover in the end zone.
Right.
And Carey Davis, who was cut and just brought back this week because of some injuries at the fullback position, so far with a big play.
And Phillip Rivers showing his displeasure. Timeout called by Pittsburgh. LT would stand for limited time tonight because San Diego has barely had the ball. He's carried it 3 times for 8 yards. Only 6 minutes of possession time. Chargers in effect have forced 2 turnovers here, but 1 negated by the penalty. The fumble recovered in the end zone, which puts the ball at the 2-yard line and 1st and goal. And the ball is handed off to Mendenhall, and he gets into the end zone for his 2nd touchdown of the game.
Pittsburgh Steelers are kicking their stinking butts. Check it out. Goodbye. Touchdown. Rashard Mendenhall, welcome into the Steeler family. He needed a game like this, and he is delivering.
That's what I love about guys from Florida. You always come up with the right adjective. Perfectly put. Reed for the extra point. McGee Women's Hospital of UPMC. The Steelers going over there on Friday. Nutritional cooking class.
Max Starks, Dennis Dixon, so many of the guys whose families have been impacted by breast cancer. And I think this is a great thing that the NFL is doing to recognize all the moms and the wives and the sisters out there, because grandmas too. This is a tremendous cause, and one that you need to bring attention to, because it is such a curable disease if it's detected early enough. So have those mammograms done.
Right, that's the message. If you're over 40, get a mammogram annually. Sproles to the 17-yard line, and Stephon Logan goes down there to make the tackle. You've got the 2 shortest players in the NFL, 5'6" against 5'6".
Darren Sproles, Stephon Logan, and finally, both of them probably thinking, finally I'm playing against somebody my own size here. It is amazing the success those 2 guys have had, especially Darren Sproles at his size. So tough, so much heart. Can you imagine as a kid thinking that at 5'6" you could make it in the NFL?
Sure. And you go home and somebody says to you, "You do what? You play in the NFL? Get out of here." Malcolm Floyd is wide to the left. 1st down from the 16-yard line, and Rivers will throw it underneath, and that's Sproles. And Sproles with some blocking, and Sproles takes it out to the 32-yard line. San Diego has 2 timeouts. Deshae Townsend makes the tackle.
And right now is a key moment in the ball game. I mean, for Phillip Rivers and San Diego, you have to put something on the board here. You have to change the momentum of this game, because so far there's been no sign that your defense is going to be able to do anything.
66 total yards for San Diego and 275 for the Steelers. And now Rivers guns it over the middle into traffic, and it's incomplete. Gates covered there by the linebacker Lawrence Timmons with 47 ticks remaining.
Well, Marcus McNeil, a good young left tackle, working on James Harrison on the outside. And really, Harrison and Woodley have not had the kind of impact that they had a season ago. They've only had 1 sack between them, that by Harrison this season. And those were the 2 dominant pass rushers as a tandem in the NFL a season ago. Really carried them to the Super Bowl.
2nd and 10. And to the outside, and Nane will make the catch, and Ratliff will take him out of bounds with 42 seconds, gain of 8, 3rd and 2.
And you can see the frustration a little bit for Phillip Rivers. He's a guy that loves throwing the ball down the field. Big play receivers, tall receivers, Malcolm Floyd, Vincent Jackson. And yet the Pittsburgh Steelers, because of this league, can afford to sit back and take that away. And so Phillip Rivers is going to have to stay patient.
Nate Kading telling Andrew 55 yards. That would be not only a lot in any stadium, but especially in this one. 3rd and 2. And that's knocked down. And that is Lawrence Timmons on the pass intended for Gates. And now San Diego down by 21, 38 seconds, 4th and 2.
That's a play by Lawrence Timmons right there. Check out this coverage on one of the great players in the NFL. Pressure, pressure, all over it. Break it up. Tremendous play. Timmons was not good a week ago, but he has come out here tonight. He looks a week healthier and fresher.
And you would think, you're thinking about maybe going for it. You need something, but if you don't make it and they score again, you can basically say good night. So they send the punting unit in. They'll try to regroup at halftime as Cyphers sends it down. It bounces at the 5, and they'll pin him deep, but that's barely going to matter because Pittsburgh can just run the clock out. Pittsburgh with a lot of heroes in the first half tonight. And by the way, we should mention Ben Roethlisberger and his offensive line tomorrow are going to fly to Wilkes-Barre and participate in Monday Night Raw with Vince McMahon and company. And that got a little, especially after you lose 2 in a row, and the fans are saying, "Oh, what are they doing? Pay attention to what you're supposed to do." But they're going to take a jet up there, do it, and come right back on their off day.
You want to make offensive linemen happy? Take them to wrestling.
Right.
That's it. That's all you need to do.
And a little kneel down by Roethlisberger. So that's a half in which the ratio time of possession is 3-1. They gain 274 yards to 74 for San Diego, and the world champions look like the world champions. 21-0 Pittsburgh at the break. And coming up will be the Toyota halftime show with Bob Costas and the gang. But first, these messages from your local NBC station. And did they ever in that first half? 21-0 at the break. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, and Andrea Kramer at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. And let's check in with Andrea.
Well, Al, Norv Turner keenly aware of the time of possession discrepancy. The Chargers have had the ball just over 7 minutes. But his main concern, how to get some rhythm on offense. He said, we just have to hit some short passes just to get a drive going. And you're going to love this. I asked Mike Tomlin, what do you think about Rashard Mendenhall? 80 yards, 2 touchdowns in the first half. He said, it's an incomplete body of work. It's only 30 minutes. I need to see what he can do in 60 minutes.
That's beautiful, and that's quintessential Tomlin. The one thing I can say about Tomlin, Chris, he gets it. Yeah. Look, all National Football League coaches are really bright and really smart. Otherwise, you can't have this job. But this guy sees everything. A lot of coaches are insular, and it's all football all the time, and just don't pay a lot of attention to the outside world, even though they're very bright. This guy sees everything.
And he says small talk when you're the guy with the whistle isn't small talk. He uses those little conversations with players as a weapon, and he admits it.
Yep.
He is a motivator.
And he's able to balance his life like few others, as it's taken at the 9-yard line by Darren Sproles. As we take a look at the first half numbers, just one other thing on Tomlin. The day before the opener against Tennessee, he spent 4 hours in teacher conferences for his kids. It's easy to tell a wife to go do that, but he was there. There are the numbers through the first half, and of course it's all dominated on the right side of the screen.
Wow. I mean, that was, but to be fair, this is what the Pittsburgh Steelers have done. They've come out in the first half and done exactly that. They haven't closed games. Of course, they have a little bigger lead now than what they've had in the past, but
now Rivers will go to the air on first down, and he throws, and that will be caught. Good coverage there, but Chambers was able to get position on the defensive back and picks up a first down, a gain on that play of 18 yards.
Right there, Marcus McNeil's doing a nice job on James Harrison, and they slid the protection away. That was one-on-one all the way, and that's going to allow some time down the field, and good news for Chris Chambers to come up with one.
From the 45. Still unable to get anything going on the ground. They averaged, coming into the game, 2.8 yards per carry. For Tomlinson, he's at the point in his career and his age at 30 where, a running back begins to diminish. We've shown you graphs through the years of what happens after that age. There was a big question, too, as to whether LaDainian would even be back. Remember, a couple of years ago, they had to decide Tomlinson or Michael Turner. Had to let one go. It was Turner who goes to Atlanta. And then you had Sproles, who had such a good year, but he wasn't going to be an every down back. So they were able to keep Tomlinson in the fold. And that's caught at the 50-yard line. And taken down there is Chris Chambers. A third down and short.
Just to continue the point, but over the last 8 years, no back has more touches or more yards than LaDainian Tomlinson. But we have seen it over the years as they head on towards 30. it is sort of a sharp cliff that a lot of backs can't get it going after that age. And yet, so now the question is, can LT continue what he's done over those prior 8 years?
And Chris, it always makes it tough for the front office too. Do you spend a lot of money on a 30-year-old running back? 3rd and 4. Rivers chased, throws under pressure, juggled, incomplete. Wouldn't have been a first down anyway. And that's James Farrier who got free coming up the middle to chase Rivers out of the pocket and create another punt.
Well, James Farrier, I told you they would be the pass rushers tonight. Here they come. Right inside. They're going to try and go outside with the offensive lineman on Woodley and Harrison. And that time, Darren Sproles said, I tried, but remember, I'm 5'6", and you guys are pretty good.
Cyphers' kick, short one, and it's fielded at the 19-yard line, and then it's Llewellyn Moore who gets tackled immediately. Early in the 3rd quarter, the Steelers with the ball and a 21-point lead. Chris, he might have heard you, Mendenhall, before the game, how important this night was for him. He's great.
He has delivered. For me, it's the story of the ball game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Rashard Mendenhall has shown that he can be a tough between the tackles runner. Show a little bit of the niftiness there as he jump cuts outside, but watch this one. Bang. That's what you've got to do if you're going to be a Pittsburgh Steelers back. Then the down on the goal line. Remember, the Steelers struggled last week against Pittsburgh, scoring on only 1 of 3 possessions down inside the 10. But Rashard Mendenhall has delivered, and so has this offensive line. They have been just overwhelming.
19-yard line first down. Over right guard goes Mendenhall. Tackled by Cooper. Gain of a couple. It'll be 2nd down and 8 at the 21-yard line.
It's almost been bizarre, don't you think, watching the Steelers the last 2 weeks? I mean, year after year after year, you see them. They get a 7-point lead. They run the football, turn it over to their defense. They make plays. They got an 11-point lead against the Bengals. Run the ball, turn it over to your defense. And back-to-back week, it fails. And it sort of shook you at your core a little bit if you were a Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
All of Western Pennsylvania, 2nd down and call it 7 as Roethlisberger buys time, rolling to his right, throws, caught, Ward got free, and then Cooper makes the tackle, and that's another first down on a gain of 9.
Well, for everybody that thinks you have to run 4.3 seconds in the 40-yard dash, check out the play by Hines Ward here. Bootleg coming, the defender in an absolutely perfect position as he comes across the field. Look at Ben, he sees him. I'm going to stop, pull up, no problem. I got it, no problem. That's what that guy's been doing. It's the reason he's been the leading receiver for the Steelers for the last 10 years.
Hines tonight, 4 catches, 44 yards, 166 straight regular season games. That's the longest streak because Terrell Owens had the longest, and that was broken last week at 185. And Roethlisberger with that play fake buys a ton of time and wide open. And how does a guy who you know he's going to look for get that wide open? But Ward is able to still do those types of things in his 12th year in the league. And that's a gain of 26.
Well, let's start with the pass protection. You go play action on an early down, and the Chargers just aren't even getting close. Look at this offensive line. Not supposed to be any good. And then Hines Ward completely turns around Cromartie. This has been a rough night for Cromartie out here. There you go. Cromartie probably runs about a 4.3, and Hines Ward runs about a 4.7 probably these days.
Cousin Rogers Cromartie at Arizona had a tough last Sunday night. Here's Mendenhall, and before Weddle can get him, he's close to another first down.
These are kind of like back in the days here. You're going to see Kemoatu pull out around number 68 and get up in this hole. We were talking to Sean Phillips about him a little bit, and he said that guy's one of the biggest, baddest pullers for an offensive guard that we see, and saw exactly why.
Cooper got run over by an 18-wheeler.
Sure did.
1st and 10 at the 32-yard line.
Black 20. Oranges. Black whip.
Mendenhall. Well, some of the fans talking about that Super Bowl hangover that they always talk about if a team doesn't start well, like the Steelers in 06. But I was thinking that even if the Steelers had lost tonight, you talk about the hair of a dog for a hangover. Detroit and Cleveland the next 2 weeks.
That works. It was so funny talking to Tomlin about the Super Bowl, and said after the game, my son came down to the field and he said, "Daddy, you scared us." And Mike said, "Scared you?"
Second and 5 from the 27. Chased by English from behind, and then that pass is thrown where Hines Ward can go down and get it, do a little dance, says hello to the folks in the end zone, and sets up a 1st and goal.
Well, you probably recognize this as the first big play that Hines Ward hit in the Super Bowl against Arizona, just going down and working the zones. Most of the National Football League these days are zone defenses, and veterans know how to read the coverage. I remember Joe Gibbs saying that he thought the receivers had to be the second smartest guy on the offense. They have to read the defense just like the quarterback does.
From the 8-yard line, Mendenhall, and still chugging, picks up 2 to the 6.
You know, Mendenhall's a big old guy. I mean, he's, 220-ish kind of a guy. Look at the arms on him. Sort of reminds me of me in a lot of ways. But he also, I'm not sure, but he also has this great speed. I mean, sub 4.4 kind of speed. So he has the ability to not only run over people, but to make that little jump cut and get outside.
Takes him less than 37 minutes to get 100 yards tonight. It's symmetrical too. 20 carries, 100 yards, 5.0 per tote. 2nd and goal. Into the corner of the end zone, and that's Miller for the touchdown. Heath Miller hauls it in.
Well, this is not fair. You get Heath Miller one-on-one against Clinton Hart, who really is not a cover safety. Does a decent job, but boy, Ben Roethlisberger has just been pinpoint. Look at that throw. Remember how good that one was in the Super Bowl, obviously, but that kind of accuracy, I don't know that he always gets credit for it.
Ben tonight, 265 yards through the air, 2 touchdown passes. Reed for the extra point. Just about the halfway mark of the 3rd quarter. Very easy. 28-zip. Next week on Sunday Night Football, as he was last week, Indianapolis looking great. 4-0. The Tennessee Titans 0-4. That's the attraction next week. Bob Costas in the gang. Football night beginning at 7 Eastern. And there at the bottom of the screen is the Mellon Arena. It's the final year for the Mellon Arena. They're building a brand new arena for the Stanley Cup champion Pittsburgh Penguins in the city of Pittsburgh, with a Stanley Cup and a Lombardi trophy. Antonio Cromartie will run the kickback. And he takes it back up to the 21-yard line, where he's tackled by Joe Burnett. 28-0 Pittsburgh. Alma mater of Joe Willie.
I think Beaver Falls would like to take a shot at the Steelers. I think San Diego's had about enough.
Oh, boy.
Undefeated this year, 5-0.
5-0, yeah. This area, hotbed of football, and Joe Montana out of this area. Dan Marino. Pass caught. This is Vincent Jackson, and going all the way back, of course, Johnny Unitas.
Well, boy, this is when it's a lot of fun to play quarterback in the National Football League, when you have the likes of James Harrison and Lamar Woodley and James Ferrier and Lawrence Timmons. All they've got to do now is think about getting after Phillip Rivers.
Rivers throwing underneath, and the Steelers will give them everything underneath that they want as Gates makes the catch, and he's tackled by Lawrence Timmons. And San Diego going no huddle.
It was interesting how much respect the Pittsburgh Steelers had for Antonio Gates. They said he is just unworldly. Their entire game plan was around trying to take Antonio Gates out of it. And then on third down, Darren Sproles, I think they felt pretty comfortable they could handle the run. And they've done a pretty good job on Gates as well.
Going to go in semi-huddle. So Rivers moved Clary, normally a right tackle, to the left side. And the pass is incomplete, intended for LaDainian Tomlinson. Timmons again puts the pressure on.
You know, they're trying to do whatever they can here to create a little unbalanced line out over here and just try and add some protection back to the backside. Maybe the fullback Mike Tolbert in there as well, but there's always one more than you can block, as Lawrence Timmons came through late when he saw the back block.
LT. You know, Chris, we started to talk before about how important it was for New England to beat Baltimore so that they didn't start to run away a little bit on Pittsburgh. Think about the other thing right now. All of a sudden, San Diego, a heavy favorite to win the AFC West, they now find themselves losing tonight. If they lose tonight, 2 games behind the Broncos. And the next game is after a bye week against Denver.
How about Josh McDaniels? And I think Mike Nolan, you've got to give him a lot of credit. That defense is completely turned around from a season ago.
3rd and 8. And that pass is caught, and that is Gates, who gets open over the middle and uses that big frame to haul in Rivers' pass.
Well, this is typically Troy Polamalu who would have this assignment, that now Kewan Ratliff, a corner, is going to have to try and make the play. A little out and up move, and you just throw it up, and Gates goes and gets it. Well, we've seen over the years Antonio Gates and Troy Polamalu, 2 of the great players in this league, go at it. I would have thought Gates may have had a little more success tonight, but they've had a nice game plan against him.
And down goes Rivers and James Harrison. And Chris, you were talking about the paucity of sacks for some of the big guys, and here comes Harrison bursting through to get his.
Just kind of welcome back, LT. You're going to have the loop coming all the way back inside, and eventually that means LaDainian Tomlinson's going to have to get him. Forget about it.
Five-yard sack, and it'll be 2nd down and 15.
41. I got 41.
Dump off, and well, that kind of sums up the Chargers' night. You know, if you're San Diego, I would think it's almost like a good horse who throws in a real clunker, and they call it a throwout race. When you're going to bet a horse and you say, well, wait a second, what happened? And that, you have to almost think in those terms. Okay, you played a horrible game, go home, take the bye week, concentrate on Denver.
Yeah, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers were thinking that Bengals game was a throwout week too.
Right.
They came back and threw out the San Diego Chargers.
He did. 3rd and 15. And Rivers over the middle, and that's caught by Gates. So he's been hitting Gates on this drive with success. Ryan Clark makes the tackle.
Watch this tight end run this route like he's a wide receiver right there in the middle of your screen. Look at the moves. I mean, that is just, here's a guy that weighs 260 pounds. And then on the tail end of it, watch the catch. Pink gloves and all. Something special. He really is.
Rivers gets it away. Juggled, caught. Gates again. Antonio to the 11. So San Diego finally gets into the red zone, and they have had a lot of troubles in the red zone. They're 1 for their last 11 in the red zone. And that one touchdown was last week, and it came on a run by Rivers.
Well, one way to fix that is to never get in the red zone. So they cured that tonight.
Until now. 2nd and 6. And a flag.
Neutral zone infraction. Number 92 of the defense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Harrison.
I assume somebody had to flinch or move inside. I didn't see it on the initial look. Yep, so as Gates flinched there, they're going to go ahead and give him credit. Sometimes if you flinch too late, they won't give you credit for it and they'll call it on you, but I think they thought that that was a reaction. That was close.
Merciful. 2nd and 1. LT to the 2 to make it first down and goal.
That looked like LT. We're starting to see him get back in a little bit of a rhythm. When he starts doing these little jump cuts and wiggles through holes and makes holes where there's really not one, and you know, that's the LT that we know. Just check out these feet. That's a good sign for San Diego. Even though this game has not been very good, that's a good sign to see him running like that.
1st and goal. And Rivers throws to the side of the end zone and incomplete. Tried to get it to Malcolm Floyd, who, like Jackson, is 6'5", covered by the linebacker Timmons. 2nd down and goal.
Almost looked like Malcolm Floyd jumped too soon for this one. He jumps, but he's kind of on the way down by the time that the ball gets there. And just kind of didn't really time it out. Play by William Day.
2nd and goal. Now Tomlinson. LT, after showing that jump cut and a little bit of the old LT, just disgusted with himself for losing his footing, and it'll be 3rd down and goal.
Yeah, a little hesitation that time out of LT cost him. Get the legs wide and just stuck. There was a pretty decent hole on that one. Took a little too long to read it. These Steelers fans want a shutout.
Yep. That's why they're so into it, the 4-touchdown game. 3rd and goal. And Rivers throws, and that will be caught, but there's a flag on the play, and Townsend's going to contend that it was a push-off, and that's Gates. And here's Triplett.
Prior to the pass, holding. Number 26 of the defense. That penalty's declined. Touchdown.
Deshae Townsend with a hold, and so San Diego finally gets on the scoreboard with 1:33 to play in the 3rd quarter.
Well, Antonio Gates, the former basketball player, is going to play basketball here. He's going to come down inside, establish rebound position, and just hold off Deshae Townsend. That's what they can do with that big body.
Nate Kading for the point after. So Gates, a big guy on that drive. He's caught 6 in the game tonight. Touchdown pass here, 28-7. Well, will San Diego try an onside kick here? 16 minutes and 33 seconds to play. Nope, not at the moment. Stephon Logan at the 5-yard line. And the 5'6" Logan takes it back out to the 28. Pittsburgh 28 and San Diego 7.
I'll be getting chewed out by Mom tonight.
Uh-oh. Mom is still up?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We're doing the game. She's up.
Okay. Pittsburgh starts this drive from the 28-yard line. 1st down. And it's dropped by Holmes.
Boy, tonight the story has been this offensive line just destructive. Check out inside Justin Hartwick blowing open a hole on the outside. Matt Spaeth working along with Max Starks. Look at the block. Look at the holes inside. Watch his double team. Up just blows the nose tackle and the linebacker back in there. Chris Kamawatu pulling out and finishing. didn't even really talk about Willie Colon, who I think is the best of them.
The right tackle.
Yeah.
He was opening up a lot of holes early for Mendenhall. First quarter as that pass is caught by Hines Ward up at about the 34-yard line.
You know, you always get asked as an analyst, rank the quarterbacks, and splitting Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, I can't do that. I'm not smart enough to figure that one out. But I think Drew Brees has now joined that conversation. But in my mind, I really do think now that Ben Roethlisberger has moved into the number 4 slot. I watch a lot of stuff, and when I watch him play and the understanding that he has of defense, we saw him directing traffic with that offensive line tonight, the ability to move out of the pocket and make plays, I just think he's number 4 right now.
Yeah, he looks like a different guy than he did even a couple of years ago. 3rd down and 4. And that pass is caught first down by Holmes. I mean, he's just a different presence for a guy who, he had a 22 rating. He didn't play well, obviously, against Seattle in the Super Bowl. The defense won the game. He made a great play in the playoffs when he tackled Nick Harper to help get them there. Then he played great in the Super Bowl last year. So, he's come on. And that graph for Roethlisberger has just gone like that.
It really was. We just saw it on that play. He tried to get the ball inside to the slot receiver. Completely double teamed, stands in there, finds the next guy, and to me, his ability to go through his progressions. Remember the last play in the Super Bowl? Sure. 4 guys he looked at before he threw that one to San Antonio.
And threw it over the heads of 3 Cardinal defenders. And one of the rare times tonight that Mendenhall loses yardage. And that will be the end of the 3rd quarter. End of 3. The Pittsburgh Steelers lead the San Diego Chargers 28-7. And NBC Sunday Night Football from Pittsburgh. Back after these messages from your local NBC station. Roethlisberger in the shotgun on 2nd down and 15 from the Steeler 40-yard line. Four-man rush, pass incomplete to Ward. 3rd down.
Well, we talked a little bit about Ben Roethlisberger in the Super Bowl. Watch this. 4 different looks. Going to check the flat first. He's got, obviously got Hines Ward in there. Had Heath Miller coming across the back. But watch the touch on this throw. I mean, it is just, it could be in one little 3-foot square box, and he hit it perfectly.
And the toe dance by Holmes. Unbelievable drive. 3rd and 15. Then stepping away, almost lost the ball. Flag thrown. And for the moment, he has a 1st down.
Holding. Number 78, the offense. 10-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Sean McDonald made the catch, but there's a hold here.
Well, for Max Starks, who's played so well tonight, he's out there working against Merriman. And sometimes when Ben Roethlisberger starts to scramble out, lose control, just got his left arm hooked around there. It was interesting talking to Max. He says, Ben scrambles so much, and we lose track of him. But I know he's scrambling because when he starts to move, the defensive linemen grab you and try and peek over your shoulder to see where he's going. So he must have had a feel he was on the move there, but grab hold.
3rd and 25.
False start. Number 74, the offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Willie.
You hate to bring it up, but sort of here we go again. I mean, this team was so dominant. I mean, could not play any better. And now we get down here late, and then San Diego goes the distance. And don't forget, San Diego, a team that for 5 straight years has averaged at least 25 points a game. So they're capable. Don't want to make a big mistake here if you're Ben Roethlisberger.
3rd and 30. And Roethlisberger, that's juggled, and it is incomplete. Almost picked off on the deflection, but it will be 4th down and 30, and Hines Ward, for the moment, shaken up, slowing, getting up.
Well, as he was bobbling the ball, opened himself up for a huge shot. Perfectly thrown ball, but Hines lets it get away from him, and as he's chasing it, ends up getting sandwiched. And boy, I tell you, Pittsburgh's lucky on this one. That's one of those plays that you could catch that one in midair and take off.
Well, yeah, Weddle almost had it, and then Cooper ran into him.
Hines got that last finger on it, kind of knocked it away from everybody.
Daniel Sepulveda sends it high into the night sky. It's a short kick, and a fair catch was called for, but then it bounces, and it takes a good Pittsburgh roll, and they'll down it at the 20-yard line. That's where Rivers and the offense go to work with 13:39 to go. The woes of the Pittsburgh. They won the game. They gave up 16 points in the fourth quarter with the Cardinals taking the lead. And the Bears got 10 2 weeks ago in Chicago. And then last week, the Bengals with a miraculous 14 at the end. So minus 24. And that's why they are 1-2 through week 3. And tonight, all of a sudden, San Diego scores at the end of the third to make it 28-7. And they have the ball back now at the 20-yard line.
Antonio Gates, it was the answer to the last drive.
Four-man rush, and Rivers is going to have to eat it. Aaron Smith gets the credit for that sack.
On the play.
Well, Dick LeBeau is thinking the same thing. This time Antonio Gates is going to get a little attention on the outside. Double team. And that took away the easy throw for Phillip Rivers, who really had to dump that ball out of there. That sack was death.
2nd and 19. Rivers, and that's incomplete. And the coverage is very good right there. Intended for Chris Chambers. William Gay with the primary coverage. 3rd and 19.
Because now you have to fit that ball into really small holes into this defense, and boy, that's really what we haven't seen Pittsburgh do, come up with those big sacks in the fourth quarter the past couple of weeks, and yet tonight the pressure has been much more reliable. Harrison and Woodley, here they come. And a blitz too.
Rivers airs it out, and it's a jump ball and incomplete, intended for Vincent Jackson, and he's the guy you got to send up into the air if you can against the 6'1" Ike Taylor, but it's 4th and 19.
Well, this is all you can ask for. You've got your best guy, a 6'5" player going up over 6'1", Ike Taylor, and just unable to pull it in. Just a little too far inside, but I'm really surprised they haven't tried that before. But look at Ike Taylor get up. Vincent Jackson was right there, and really Ike Taylor ended up with a better shot at it.
Cypress's kick. 44-yard line, Logan. And it's taken away by Hester. And is there a whistle on the play?
I didn't hear one.
Well, for the moment, we have a signal for a touchdown. And now the question becomes,
they're signaling touchdown.
For the moment, I didn't hear a whistle for starters.
I did not either.
And North Turner right now wants the kicking unit to get out onto the field before Pittsburgh can review this or issue a challenge, which I'm certain they're going to do.
Rolling on the field is a touchdown.
So they have Logan by the shirt. He's not down yet. He's not down yet.
That's a good call.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, as long as the whistle didn't blow, you can argue forward back and review and say that should have been forward progress. So they don't blow the whistle. He's not on the ground.
Right.
That's a touchdown.
He's on one of the Chargers, and then they take the ball away. And Mike Tomlin, of course, will challenge if he sees anything, or if the guys upstairs think they did. And Tomlin will challenge. I think Mike is hoping that there is an angle that he hasn't seen yet.
Pittsburgh is challenging the ruling on the field if the runner is not down.
So from what we can see on those replays, that touchdown will stand, and that'll make it a ball game. Tomlin has a good record in challenges, but I don't think he's going to win this one because it's pretty clear. Among the things that cannot be reviewed when they take a look is forward progress. You can't rule that forward progress had been stopped. And watch when he comes down on a charger, that doesn't mean he's on the ground. So the play is alive, the ball comes out, and the whole thing goes back to.
After reviewing the play, the runner has the ball, and his knee is not on the ground. It's all players, but it's taken away by the San Diego player. The ruling on the field is confirmed. It is a touchdown and a
touchdown with the extra point to come. But Hester gets the touchdown. But let's go back to the fact in a game like this, Logan was ill-advised to even attempt to run that kickback. It was a short kick, and all you're thinking about is ball security, and it looked like he had a little bit of trouble even coming up with the ball at the outset. And now San Diego has an opportunity to make it a 2-touchdown game with a ton of time left.
And Al, the one thing that you saw there, remember Stephon Logan, only 5'6". Essentially, the San Diego Chargers were holding him up to allow the teammates to come in and take it away.
28-14, all of a sudden. Winding up with the ball and the touchdown. And it's a 28-14 contest, and now this is Logan. And Logan will bring the ball back up to the 30-yard line. And let's go back to the punt.
I guarantee you the last thing that special teams coach Steve Crosby said was, get this little guy, hold him up, don't take him to the ground, and get the ball out of there. You can see Hester had no intention of trying to take him to the ground. He wanted him on his feet and then was able to come in and get the ball from behind. Just a brilliant football play.
And there is Steve Crosby, the special teams coach. And it's amazing, too. The launch snapper, David Binn, is always down there in the middle of the action. He was in the group in the rugby scrum, hoping to get the ball away from Logan. So now from the 30-yard line, Roethlisberger with some work to do. He swings it out to Mendenhall, and Mendenhall will pick up 6 yards. He's tackled up at the 36-yard line.
You know, and now we're back to the situation we talked about in the opening on camera. Once again, the Pittsburgh Steelers in the fourth quarter start to falter. Now, do they sit on this lead, or do they try and play offense? And the discussion internally within the Pittsburgh coaching staff has been, I think it's time to let Ben Roethlisberger try and do what Peyton Manning and Tom Brady will do, and that is salt the thing away on the offensive side.
He has 288 yards through the air tonight. Mendenhall's had a 100-yard night on the ground, and he won't gain any more right here, but he still gets stopped by Kevin Burnett, number 99, at the line of scrimmage, and a 3rd and 4 upcoming.
Well, if you were going to throw it, that was the down. Look at, they've got about 9 guys at the line of scrimmage up here, basically daring Ben Roethlisberger to come out here and throw this one. And then Kevin Burnett, who's really much more of a pass defender, who played so brilliantly a week ago, comes up with a big tackle, and this is a moment right here now.
It is. 3rd down and 4. Ward gets repositioned. Roethlisberger dumps it, and that's going to be caught, and getting the first down is Mewelde Moore. So nothing happening on the right side. Merriman angry with himself and the rest of the situation here as they had a 3rd and 4 and couldn't hold him. First down.
Boy, that's what we're talking about with Ben Roethlisberger. He wanted Hines Ward on the right side. He's going to come up here and just hook up. He tried to get him in there. He ends up covered. Roethlisberger immediately comes back, knows immediately where Mewelde Moore is, dumps it down, picks up a big, big first down.
10.5 to go.
Block 20. Block 20.
Mendenhall breaking tackles inside the 40 and then tripped up inside the 30-yard line by Clinton Hart. A big 3rd down conversion and then a bigger run by Mendenhall, 32 yards.
And a bigger hit by Chris Kemuatu. Watch him pull out and knock out the defensive tackle. Oh my goodness, just blew him right out of there. And Mendenhall took advantage. Boom, right through there. And boy, oh boy, has Mendenhall had a night. Welcome to Pittsburgh, Rashard Mendenhall.
From the 26, 127 yards for the #1 pick of 08. And a couple of more right here before he runs into 95, Sean Phillips.
Now this game's starting to look like what I thought it was going to be. Hard hitting, tough tackling. Sean Phillips that time with a shot. Look at this one. See how high he is? That was my concern, and I think it's a big reason why he fumbles the football. When defenders are able to get their pads under your pads, that ball can come out. Think of Adrian Peterson. You never see anybody get underneath his pads.
2nd and 7. This is Moore, who picked up that big first down on the 3rd and 4 play. He stopped here, so now another 3rd down. 3rd and 7. Mendenhall, because of last year, he didn't play very much. He had 4 fumbles in preseason in 2008 and 2009. He got hit by Ray Lewis early in the year last year. That cost him the season, but that's been a problem for him.
You know, now how much do you trust Jeff Reed? Jeff Reed missed some big kicks in that Chicago game. And do you play for a field goal, which would sort of clinch it up, or I think you got to play offense here and try and pick this first down up.
You're looking at about a 43-yard attempt here if they don't gain a yard. 3rd and 7. And Ben buys time and then throws, and working his way open is Ward. And then Ward gains a few more after he takes 2 hits, and it will be first down and goal.
Well, I said earlier that Hines Ward was like a tight end. I think he's also like a fullback. Pops out of this bunch formation. The Chargers just lose him, and now watch this. That's called getting your pad level down a little lower than the other guys. Now we're playing some football out here.
8 catches, 113 yards for Ward tonight. Moore, is he going to throw? He is. Touchdown to Heath Miller. And Tomlin and Arians prove they will do anything in a situation where they have a locked field goal. They go to a gadget play.
How about that? This ain't your mother's old-style Pittsburgh Steelers offense anymore, is it? They weren't waiting around for this defense and the running game to win this ball game. They cut these guys loose, and they delivered.
Reed for the point after. And after San Diego gets back into the game, in 5 minutes, the Steelers go 70 yards, 8 plays, 4 rushes, 4 passes, big 3rd down conversion by Moore, and then a touchdown pass from him. Pittsburgh Steelers with 5 touchdowns tonight, 5 for 5 in the red zone tonight. Coming into the game, the Pittsburgh Steelers had scored a total of 5 touchdowns in the 3 games.
That was impressive.
That was very, and there's Bruce Arians, the offensive coordinator.
And Mike Tomlin giving him a well-deserved pat on the back for that one. You know, it was interesting in talking to Arians. He said, everybody wants me to go back to being Bill Cowher, who could run the ball in the 4th quarter and turn it over to the defense. He said, I want to go back, but I want to go back to Chuck Noll and Terry Bradshaw and Lynn Swann and John Stallworth. They had the kind of balance that I want to play.
And that takes a lot of guts to make a call like that. If that's the kind of play, let's say it gets intercepted, everybody goes, what in the what? A halfback pass? What are you doing?
And he's not the most popular guy in town anyway, by his own admission.
Sproles from the 6. And he gets taken down. That's a good tackle up at the 33-yard line by Kewan Ratliff. Sunday Night Football being brought to you by Sears. Sears Life Well Spent by Chili's. Back for a limited time at Chili's. 3 courses, 2 people, $20. By DirecTV, get every game every Sunday only on DirecTV, and by Lipitor. Well, the Pittsburgh Penguins last year in Game 7 went into Detroit and beat the favored Red Wings, and that's why the other night on opening night at Mellon Arena they were able to lift the banner. The Stanley Cup was here. The Penguins won the game. They went to Long Island last night, so they've started this season 2-0. And Rivers hits Gates over the middle as San Diego tries to mount another comeback here.
Good thing about those banners, once they go up, they don't come down.
That's right.
They are there forever.
It's like Michael Ruzioni once told me about his winning goal in the Olympics. He said, every time I put the tape in, he said, I shoot and I know the puck goes in.
What a moment that was.
2nd and 1. And that pass is caught by Jackson. It's Ryan Clark in on the tackle. Ryan Clark, a fascinating story in his own right, as Rivers will go up to the line of scrimmage without a huddle. But here's a guy who came back from a high altitude game in Denver where his blood began to sickle. Cells changed shape and he wound up losing a spleen and a gallbladder. And that's taken to the 31-yard line as Vincent Jackson makes the catch right there for a first down.
I thought it was interesting too. He said, did you ever get nervous? He said, yeah. When the doctor said, I want to pray, he said, forget that. He said, I'll pray, you do the doctor thing.
Exactly. You do the surgery.
Yeah.
Lost 30 pounds, was worried about his life, and came back last year and played. Rivers throws, and that's Gates making the catch, staying in bounds, and Gates is going to bowl his way into the end zone for a touchdown. The Chargers, who can be explosive, obviously, with Woodley and Harrison converging on Rivers, but he got it away, and it's a 31-yard touchdown pass.
What a play by Rivers to get this thing off. He was contacted, but Antonio Gates in the open field, watch him stop and now play fullback himself. He looks like Hines Ward on that one. This has turned into a fist fight out here in this fourth quarter. It's been fun to watch, and Phillip Rivers, look at the guts of this guy. People hanging on him, taking shots, just had to kind of float it out of there. Great play.
Kading for the point after. So that took him 90 seconds to go 67 yards. And it's a 2-touchdown game again. 5:48 to go. Indianapolis looks as good as any team in the league right now. Manning off to a fabulous start. Dissected Seattle today. 300 or more yards, 4 straight games. Leads the league in passing yards. And, you know, coaches never want to say it is a must game. If ever there's a must game, it's for Tennessee next week. They're 0-4.
No doubt about it. Boy, you change head coaches, you change receivers, but the quarterback's the same, and the Colts are still the Colts.
Right onside it here if I'm San Diego. And they do. And the ball is loose at the 46-yard line. Not even a signal from the players yet. I think he says white ball, San Diego's ball. And the reason I said onside is because your defense hasn't, and now you've got all kinds of things happening outside of the huddle. Guys getting thrown out of the scrum. But their defense hasn't shown they can stop them, so you might as well onside it at this point.
Yeah, Ryan Monday, because they're not in a hands team kind of a look, which surprised me. They were just in their regular kickoff return, and Ryan Monday muffed the ball. And Tim Dobbins ends up jumping on the loose ball. And how about this? I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers fans have to be thinking there is no way that this could turn into a ball game.
Half the crowd's already home. The ball is at the 46-yard line. Rivers slings it into Pittsburgh territory. That's caught. Chambers is tackled inbounds by William Gay, and the clock keeps rolling.
Well, we've seen so far tonight that Darren Sproles has been a little better at picking up the blitz than LaDainian Tomlinson. You saw it coming heavy off the offense's left side that time, and yet LT remains in the game. See if they can get him isolated.
2nd and 4.
Corner blitz.
Here they come. Rivers gets it away over the middle, and that's caught despite great coverage by Harrison on Gates. Gates is able to corral it. First down, 39.
We saw Sproles earlier come across the formation to pick one up like this. LT doesn't get there as this corner blitz comes in there. And Rivers lucky to get this one out. Great step up to make a play.
Rivers feeling the pressure, and then a flag is thrown because you saw the contact. Gates goes down, and that's Harrison again who bangs into him.
A little bit interesting to me that you've got James Harrison, your best pass rusher, without question, 16.5 sacks a year ago in coverage.
Pass interference, number 92 of the defense. Automatic first down.
Harrison may be a mismatch when he's blitzing, but when he's in coverage, a bit of a liability here. He's got his back turned and really end up being no match. Not a lot of contact there, but enough. If he had his head turned around, I think he gets away with that.
Rivers exploiting Gates over the middle. Gates has caught 9 balls tonight. That penalty is worth 26 yards. The ball is at the 13-yard line. And Rivers protected well this time. Throws inside the 10. There goes Chambers. Touchdown, San Diego.
Rivers pass complete to Chambers.
This is amazing. The San Diego Chargers are going to be within 7 points with 4:31 left, a 2-minute warning, and all of their timeouts as well.
Chris Chambers comes all the way across the formation, LT out the back, and I'm stunned. I mean, this has just been exactly what the Pittsburgh Steelers have been all season long. They can't close the door.
And the kick is good. Well, it's one thing not to close the door in games in Chicago and Cincinnati where they didn't really have a big lead, but to have a 28-0 lead at home, and most of the folks happily went to the parking lot, or a lot of them here, because you look around Heinz Field and it's maybe half full at the moment.
And remember, this was the #1 ranked defense in every major statistical category a season ago. And Phillip Rivers, they talk about how competitive the guy is. He is hanging in there, and now they're the field so fast when they get the ball now. You've got to think if they get another stop, they're going to be able to tie this thing up.
Well, that's what the Chargers do so well. It was 28-0, and then San Diego made it 28-14. And then Pittsburgh with that drive, that big third down to Moore, and that made it a 3-touchdown game. But then San Diego in 90 seconds scored. They get the onside kick. They score here in 1:13, and it's a 7-point game. And there is Crosby in his special teams right now. And San Diego has great special teams with Sproles, Kading, the punter, of course, Cyphers. Kasim Osgood goes to the Pro Bowl. Do you kick on? I don't know if I do it here again, Chris.
No,
what do you think?
I don't. Now you have to count on your defense to make a play. You have all your timeouts. Go play some defensive football.
Agreed. And Kading sends it down to the 1-yard line, and here comes Logan. And they'll try to, if they can't, keep Logan up and try to wrest it away. But this time Logan secures the ball and brings it out to the 21-yard line. And here comes that defense, and now San Diego has to put the game in the hands of a defense that tonight has been shredded for 437 yards.
Well, for Ron Rivera, this is it. This is the moment right here. You've got him backed up. And now Ben Roethlisberger gets his chance. He's seen that his defense cannot make a stop. Now, for one of the first times in Steelers history, they're going to say, forget our defense, forget our running back. We've got a $100 million quarterback. Let's play.
Black 20. Oh, no! Black 20.
Off the play fake. Roethlisberger throws, and that'll be caught by Holmes on the far side in front of the San Diego bench before he goes out of bounds, covered there by Quentin Jammer.
Well, anytime that you're willing to leave Santonio Holmes one-on-one, that's where Ben's going. You can just count on it. That time, Quentin Jammer coming across the formation. Ben knew immediately it was man coverage. Little inside look, little outside turn. And Ben with a huge first pass. That one is so important to get that first down and get something going.
From the 36-yard line. Down to the ground. Mendenhall. Hard-earned 4 or 5 yards for Rashard Mendenhall. who's carried the ball 25 times tonight for 135 yards.
Well, that bunch formation is just so tough. You have 2 tight ends and Hines Ward over there, and those guys don't miss blocks. At that time, every single one of those guys got a clean block and got Mendenhall going.
Second and 5. Then taking the play clock down to 5. And then Mendenhall, and that's a big hole over the right side. And a huge first down for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh my goodness, Chris Kamawatu is having the game of his life out here tonight. Just tearing it up as he pulls around. He's going to come up and through and watch the knockout punch. Dong against Stephen Cooper. And Rashard Mendenhall needs to go immediately after this game and buy him a gold watch, buy him dinner, a car, whatever he takes, because Rashard Mendenhall is running behind the big guy tonight.
What about a house?
I'm a house.
The whole thing.
All those first-round picks have that much money.
Ain't your money. Timeout taken by San Diego. So that was a big play on so many levels. Number 1, to get the first down. Number 2, to pick up as much yardage as they did. And number 3, to make San Diego use a timeout before a first down.
LT saying a little hard. Come on, guys. A little hard out here. Make one stop.
3 down, regular.
3:24 remaining. On the 37. And again, it's Mendenhall. And Mendenhall with a gain of 8 to set up a second and short.
This time, Kamawatu is going to go up on the linebacker here and get this block. He's doing a great job in space wherever it may be. That's a tough block for a guard. You've got a smaller, athletic linebacker, yet he's making the play. Love the way Mendenhall is hitting these holes and running well, but this offensive line is destroying San Diego.
And have all night. Second and 1. Mendenhall again. And that's close to a first down. It would behoove San Diego if they were forced to measure here. Otherwise, San Diego would have to think about taking a timeout. And they will measure.
In some ways, you may actually be better off if it is a first down if you're San Diego, because otherwise they buy another down and another 25 seconds off the clock to the 2-minute warning.
Either way, they're between a rock and a hard place right now, because the clock will begin to wind again after the measurement. And they're short. So now what does San Diego want to do? You want to take your timeout here and conserve some of the clock on this side of the 2-minute warning? That's the option that he has right now. I would do that, because if they get a first down, that's going to make it almost moot anyway.
Yep. You've got to think they did it earlier. They've struggled in the past in these short yardage situations, but tonight they've been so dominant. I'd be stunned if it's anybody but Ben Roethlisberger. 250 pounds a man behind an offensive line that has been blowing open holes. I think I'd go find Chris Kamawatu and sneak in behind him.
And now they're going to wind the clock, and they're going to start it. They're going to Pittsburgh's going to have to run a play here. Well, I would have taken a timeout here and saved it.
I think they can run it to the 2-minute warning here, right?
Almost. Well, they can, because right now the play clock will just take them all the way down. That's why I would have taken it on this side of it. So there's your 2-minute warning. San Diego does have 2 timeouts. And in effect, Pittsburgh can cement the game with a first down on the next play. 2-minute warning. Pittsburgh 35, San Diego 28. Wendy's postgame report will be coming up after the game. Andrea will talk to one of the game stars. Bob, Tony Dungy, and Rodney Harrison wrap up today's NFL action. Chris and I will have the final word coming up after the game. The Pulse tonight, Ben Roethlisberger 25 of 32, over 300 yards. Mendenhall, what a night for him on a night when they really needed him with Parker out. Gates, meanwhile, helped to get San Diego back into the game with 9 catches, and the Chargers special teams have done a great job. The onside kick led to a touchdown, and of course the fumble recovery with Hester taking it out of the hands of Logan and scoring a touchdown. But now it's 3rd down and inches.
Al, I go for it twice here. Even if I don't make this one, I don't know the way my special teams have been going tonight if I'm lining up and trying a field goal. I've got a big quarterback. I have a big offensive line. I'm trying this one twice.
If they don't make it, I'm with you on that one, because otherwise you're looking at a 46-yard field goal. And if you miss it, San Diego will have it at the 36, and that's going to be moved right now because Ben is going to be able to lean his way into a 1st down. So it's a 1st down, and San Diego can take a timeout here, but that's going to leave them with only 1.
I think they still have to make the 1st down, right?
Well,
it's 1 timeout if there's.
They'll come close to being able to run it out, but let's check out the injured Steeler here. That is Kimoyatu.
I think they may have come down. I'm not even going to speculate. It looked like he kind of got caught up in the pile, and everybody just is coming down. And I think somebody fell in the back of his leg. Yeah, Max Starks got such a good block against Jacques Césaire. He rolled him right into Kimoyatu.
With this injury, also, we're thinking about Chris, but San Diego could get its timeout back because they called it before the stoppage for Kimoyatu's injury. So Kimoyatu's had a great night, and of course you've been talking about him a lot, and it's a phenomenal night for the 5th-year guard out of Utah, who in effect replaced Alan Faneca last year. Faneca opted for free agency.
And his brother Maake in Carolina is out already for the season too. So it's been tough, but boy, what a game he's had tonight. That has just been this offensive line. I know it's taken a lot of criticism in the past year, but man, they are putting it together now.
And Ramon Foster will take his place, number 73. So a break for San Diego on 2 levels that gets Kimoyatu out of the game. And they're able to conserve a timeout, so they're back to having 2. And now Pittsburgh would definitely have to get a 1st down to run the clock out. They're at the 26-yard line. So San Diego still breathing at this point with 1:56. And Mendenhall, and he's going to get taken down, and then they'll stop the clock right here with 1:51.
Well, now you've got big decisions to make because of that timeout back. Now you're going to have to decide, are we still going to kick the field goal? Are we willing to throw the football at this point? That time San Diego comes up with 9 players down there in the box. And Ben Roethlisberger, if you're going to beat us, because we're going to make sure we're going to take away this run.
Early on, it's 28-0, and I'm saying, you're thinking about it like a trainer of a horse. It's a throw-out race. Go home, lick your wounds, take the bye week. Now, all of a sudden, if nothing else, the Chargers have to feel a lot better about themselves the way they've been playing over the last, quarter and 3 minutes.
A lot better about their offense and special teams.
Right.
Not so good about their defense.
Absolutely not.
But Norv Turner made that point to us. He said this team does not get enough credit for how tough-minded they are. We hang in despite all the injuries and make plays, and Chris Kimoyatu back in. Good to see.
Tough-minded and a tough guy.
Here's that formation again.
Yeah.
The diamond left.
4-by-1, and they break it now as Moore comes into the backfield to flank Roethlisberger. 2nd down and 11. And it's an inside handoff. And Moore will be stopped at the 26, and San Diego can take its final timeout. Well, And again, it goes back to what you were just talking about, Chris. It's almost the same thing. If they don't gain a yard on the third down play, do you bring Reed in and try a 43-yard field goal? Obviously makeable, but, you know, missed 2 in Chicago. If you miss, then San Diego gets the ball back at about the 33.
Well, to me, here's the difference. If before it would have been 4th and an inch. You know, now at 4th and 10, I think you definitely have to kick the field goal in this situation. But it was a tough day in Chicago when he had a chance to clinch that game. But also remember that Chicago's field was a little torn up because of a concert, and that field is the toughest place to kick. And this stadium is the second toughest place to kick.
Third down, 9. 3-by-1 to the right this time. Chargers sent 4. Ben stepping to his left. And there's a flag in the backfield, and that pass is incomplete. And Jeff Triplett throwing the flag. The referee.
Now you've got a little decision to make. I think you have to take him back, don't you?
Yes.
Number 68 of the offense.
That's Kimoyatu. So
10-yard penalty. Still be third down.
Right, because you could decline it, but then they would have a chance to send Reed in for what would be, in effect, a clinching field goal.
Here's the hold right here on Kimoyatu working against Luis Castillo. Castillo able to get by him. No choice but to grab him. Roethlisberger throwing it away. But now you really need, you don't need this first down, but you really need about 10 yards to feel better about Jeff Reed having a chance.
Oh, yeah, because you're talking about a 54-yard field goal now. Longest field goal ever in the stadium is 50 yards. 3rd and 19. The play of the night coming up here, and he's going to dump it underneath, and taking it to the 28 to set up what might be a 45-yard attempt is Moore, who gets tackled by Merriman.
Boy, I tell you what, Ben Roethlisberger makes more guys miss in the pocket than anybody I think I've ever seen. Castillo looked like he had him dead to rights. He steps up, makes the play, and gets the 10 yards we were talking about. Castillo looks like he's going to come in here and get this. Roethlisberger turns his shoulder. You can see just alludes. Castillo gets his hand on it. And here we go for Jeff Reed.
46-yard field goal. Sepulveda to hold it.
Timeout. Pittsburgh.
And Pittsburgh runs the clock all the way down and then takes a timeout. And if ever a special teams group works on a kick block, whatever your best play is, whatever your best stunt is, this is the time.
I've never seen a team ice their own kicker. Well, Jeff Reed to take a little time and think about this, I guess.
Well, they figure they can squeeze a couple of more seconds off the clock by doing that.
Well, and remember, if he misses this kick, you're going to get the ball at the 36-yard line, and it has not taken San Diego very long with Antonio Gates and Phillip Rivers and company to scream up and down the field. Boy, wouldn't this be an unbelievable ending?
Reed with 4 of 7, and 2 of those misses in the 4th quarter.
Jeff Reed needs this kick.
The city of Pittsburgh needs this kick.
Overload right for the rush.
Sepulveda to hold it. Greg Warren to snap it. And Reed's kick with a flag down. A flag is down to the line of scrimmage. For the moment, it is good. And the head linesman pointing towards San Diego. And he says to Tomlin, do you want to decline it? And Mike says, what do you think?
Let me think about it.
Offside. Defense, number 31, lined up in the neutral zone. That penalty decline. Field goal is good.
Cromartie's lucky he didn't miss it.
Yeah,
he would be the goat of goats.
Yeah, lined up offsides. You know, got to understand he's trying to make a play, trying to get around the edge. No question about it here. I think he's offsides, and it's not even that close. The line sort of sloped that way. And for Jeff Reed, that's a big phew.
They may have had a couple of guys lining up offside the way, Pittsburgh kind of curling its way back from the edges, and San Diego trying to line up nose to nose. And here's Roethlisberger's reaction. First thing he reacts to is, what's the flag about? So it's a 10-point game. And for the Chargers, they just dug too big of a hole tonight.
Remember, we were talking to Ryan Clark, and he said, after we lost Chicago and we came back against Cincinnati and they came back and scored that first touchdown, you could tell on our sideline we were a little uncomfortable over there, which is so strange for us. And then here it was. It looked like it was going to happen again tonight.
Sproles fakes the throw. And here goes Sproles, and Sproles trying to give him some life as he gets out of bounds in Pittsburgh territory. For Tomlinson, of course, he wasn't 100% tonight, though from time to time he looked pretty good. He will have that streak ended tonight with consecutive games of 10 or more carries. Sean Alexander had a streak of 87. And for Tomlinson, that's 86 games in which he has played and carried the ball 10 or more times, and that's the equivalent of almost 5.5 seasons.
You know, you need 2 scores here, so you can go field goal, touchdown. They may go for 20 yards, try a field goal, come back onside kick, and then try to Hail Mary.
Absolutely. And Rivers gets sacked, loses the football. Rivers, and the Steelers recover. James Harrison with the sack and the forced fumble.
Well, the defensive MVP is back. Only 1 sack coming into this game. But tonight, when the game was on the line, and that's what Mike Tomlin talked to us about, he said, we have defensive stars who, when the game has been out there for the taking, we have not made plays. Tonight, that has not been the case. They finally step up when they need to. That says it all right there. Welcome to Pittsburgh.
Well, San Diego never feels welcome in Pittsburgh because this will be 14 regular season losses and no wins for the Chargers in Pittsburgh, though they won 2 out of 3 in postseason, including a trip to the Super Bowl by winning the AFC Championship game in '94. But 0 for 14. They come in here 3 times in 11 months and fly home with a loss. But the Chargers made it a game at the end and turned what looked to be a rout into nervous time in Pittsburgh. Well, they lost this game. They would have had to have kept the bars open in Pittsburgh all night.
That's probably been all right with a few people.
I'm sure it would have been. End of the game, 38-28. Andrea, Bob, the whole gang coming up on the Wendy's post-game report on the other side of this break.